Every Saturday night, all they do is the same old thing.
So you got a plan tonight or what?
I got a radically hellacious plan. Fifth the jack, just to take the edge off, get those chicks all horn dogged out.
What chicks?
Hanging with the buds.
Check it out, man. Stack, Tackmeister, hang a loogie on it. Hey, man, I got some chicks!
Searching for a party.
What's the ratio here, man? It's like 35 to 3 out here.
Staying out of trouble.
Are you gonna boogie with the foxes tonight? Now, if you wanna get these chicks in the mood, shake it, man. I need some ID.
Looking for some chicks.
Let's party.
But tonight, they're about to face their greatest challenge.
She's so cherry, man, it hurts.
Man, I'm gonna scorch my shorts.
Man, we got chicks!
Yeah, and you guys better not be here when he gets back.
Come here, my chicks! Are those, real booby shots? Let's go. No, she ain't even naked.
Sam, you kicked his ass.
They're like a pack of wild dogs. They're probably out there right now playing in the ice tray.
Don't be so paranoid. They're not that lame.
Attention, hooligans. Assume the prone position.
What the hell are you doing with my daughter?
Man, these are our chicks. You come here, you think the chick's gonna go for it because you got some Ox 45? These are talls, man.
The Stöned Age.
Hey, so where's your friend?
What? You guys want to take a number?
She's hot for me, man. Yeah, then you woke up.
The Stöned Age is a 1994 teen comedy from Trimark Pictures. The film stars Michael Kopelow. You might know him as that redhead guy from the 90s.
Shit, making a wig for my girlfriend.
Thank you.
What the fuck? Fucking, that's a narc, man.
Dude, he cut my hair.
So what? He can bust us.
Did you fucking cut my hair?
Yeah, that guy. And Bradford Tatum, most notable from Powder and Westworld. The movie also stars China Cantor, daughter of Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship members Paul Cantor and Grace Slick, and the painfully gorgeous Renee. While it's an overall comedy, I guess it's also part of the stoner film genre as well, as Joe and Hubs are right up there with Cheech and Chong and Dale and Saul. After some post-production turmoil, the film was released on December 5th, 1994, and by all means of the word, kinda flopped. Around this time, Trimark Pictures was basically leading the straight-to-video market, and with the film being ahead of its time and having basically no marketing behind it, nobody really knew about it. It wasn't until later that it really found a life on home video, and was a huge hit with teens.
Whoa.
And with people my age, it kind of became the elusive VHS my older siblings would rent that I was by no means allowed to see. You know, but when I finally did via some good friends, it became an instant childhood favorite.
Who the fuck are you?
This movie is fucking hilarious, and is more than just a simple teen or stoner movie. In many ways, it spoofs those genres.
What the fuck is this?
What, man?
It's fucking skank weed.
So? You'll still catch a buzz?
And the approach makes sense knowing the team behind the Jerky Boys was also behind this. And although the film is definitely ahead of its time, it is also a product of its time, and could never be made now, not in this capacity at least, without offending everyone.
Hey, bring on the bitches! Fuck you, man. I don't want no chick with zits. I want fine chick.
Man, it wasn't for you and this fag. Me and Joe be having a titty fest right now.
Come on, man. Don't say that. I mean, she's pretty fine.
Oh, not even, man. She's a fucking badass.
Every band puts out at least one pussy song so they can find out who the faggots are. Now take it out.
In fact, the film took a toll on one of the Buffalo chicks, as she had to leave due to the discomfort. but they made it work.
Where's the other one?
You know how it is. She was messing up the ratio.
The film has some really great cameos. We have Jake B.O.C. as the PV dweeby jock Muldoon, the always fantastic Taylor Negron, rest in power, a hilarious spot with Frankie Avalon.
Yeah, it's about 2 blocks down there on the left.
Great. I hear there's a shitload of fine chicks down there.
A career-making role with Kevin Kilner, a reference to the controversial Virgin Killers album, and members of Blue Oyster Cult selling bootleg shirts in the end-credits scene. In fact, veteran actor Kevin Kilner spoke about his role as Officer Dean, being the most recognizable role in his entire career as of yet, and is very proud.
You think I didn't want to taste a beer when I was your age? Hell, they used to call me Dixie Cup Dean.
A young Clifton Collins Jr. appeared in this and nailed the role as the disgusting linchpin Tack, and while becoming the most successful cast member, appearing in blockbusters and having an excellent career since then, still remarks on the film and acknowledges it as putting him on the map, and has even been seen referring to people as worms in social media.
Fuck you, fucking worm!
The film had a pretty low budget, and it shows in some parts. Here we see a bottle left as a marker for Frankie Avalon that got left behind, and we see a lot of vehicles and, some business fronts and stuff that just didn't exist in the 70s. And there's some sketchy acting too, but it just works.
Hear that? Crumps Brothers got some chicks.
Oh, no shit. Man, it's been a while since I seen any chicks around here. What's the ratio, man?
There's a charm to this movie that was absent in the other 70s teen stoner comedy that came out the next year, Dazed and Confused. A coincidence that was actually used in the promotion for this film. In a lot of ways, Stöned Age is a much more meaningful film. In Dazed, we get a story of a high school student questioning his final year of school and the role he will take going on into the world after. With Stöned Age, we get Joe, a high school kid questioning everything, even life itself, because of a huge, gnarly eyeball.
Guy reminds me of Mondo Man.
Don't be so paranoid. They're not that lame.
Not much info exists on this film, regardless of its cult status, and it hasn't had the proper Blu-ray rollout that it deserves. But I had the opportunity to talk to actor Michael Kopelow, who played Joe in the film, about some of the behind-the-scenes stories and his involvement in the movie. Let's check that out.
The Stöned Age. Well, it was actually a really long process. It started off as a student film called Tax Chicks, and where I met Jim and Rich at AFI, and they brought me in to read for it, and it was like I guess their senior piece or whatever, the whatever short film that they make at the end of their studies. And that was the first time I got, like, kind of almost cast me on the spot. Kind of, I guess it was like love at first sight. I don't know, but they were cool as shit. And I was like, oh my god, I can't. If you guys are behind this project, I don't care what it is, I'll do it. And they made the short film, and then from there they wrote the full length version, and then it went from what I remember, went with like different companies. I think an offshoot or a side company of Disney picked it up, and they were trying to cast it in all these different directions. And I ended up having to like audition for the film again, and then we made like a test shoot, and it was me and Renee were in that. And I think, now that I think about it, I think it was Renee and I were the only two cast members that were in every single version of the film, from the student film. I believe that's right. It was a long time ago. Some information might be a little foggy. But we did the student film at AFI, then we did this test shoot, different hubs, different lanies. And then it went into, then we went from different companies until finally, I think it was, I can't remember, Trimark, TriStar, something like that, picked it up. Trimark. And then I had to audition for it again. I met actors that that I was like, I'm not gonna get this part from going up against this guy. This guy's like really famous. But whatever. I got the part, and then Renee got the part again, and so it was many different versions. One student film, and then a test shoot where we did 2 scenes, and then it was going to be with this one company. And then didn't go with that company because they wanted to change a bunch of stuff about it, and at least that's what my memory. If my memory is correct, that was the kind of the ride, and then finally, bam. Then we made it with Trimark, and that's the version that everyone got.
We're still looking for the punks who knocked over the liquor warehouse on Crenshaw. Know anything about that?
We don't know nothing about no stolen Ox 45, man.
The chemistry was amazing. I remember the reading, and when he sat down, and it was just I looked over at him, and he looked over at me, and he was just he was Hubs. He was in character.
What the fuck is that?
And I was like, shit, this is Hubs. It's this is the guy, and I was like, he's gonna get it. At that time, I was still wondering if I was gonna get the part, but I was like, if someone's gonna play Hubs, it's gonna be this guy. And it was instant chemistry, and then it was he's amazing. Brad's amazing. We just we got along so well. It wasn't like we got to go out and party and because it was basically get the part and then we start shooting, and then we were with each other every day. But he was fantastic to work with. He was solid. I mean, everybody could see it in the film. He was just solid. He was, and there was instant chemistry. They didn't have to go try to work that out. It was just natural. It was there. It was kind of magical.
Check it out, man. It's Tack. Tackmeister, that fucking pud. Hang a loogie on it. All right.
Oh yeah. Clifton, yeah, he another similar kind of story. I didn't know who was going to play Tack until if I remember, until we were shooting our first scene, and I was like, oh my god, it was hard not to break character or laugh because he was so good. I was like, oh my god, this guy's just the pick in the nose dirtbag, just kind of I gotta get laid too, just kind of he played it so on point. And it took me a while to actually get to know Clifton other than him being Tack, because the characters were so extreme, and also we were really young, and just really into it. But yes, similar. Even though I was not the character is he's not supposed to really get along so well with Tack. He kind of feels like he's in a step socially above him in a kind of a way. It was hard not to like him. I haven't seen the movie that many times, but I do remember shooting it, because that was definitely a great time shooting it. It took a while, and I sound crazy about it. I'm still kind of having moments of that where it doesn't go away. The thing seems to get more momentum as the years go on, even when I wasn't even that active as an actor or anything for a while. And then it was tremendous because it got shelved. I mean, the movie was never released in the theaters. It was basically through word of mouth, from what I understand, and it was just basically kind of it was kind of one day when it just almost some secret got out, and I could feel it everywhere I went, where people were like, that's Joe. Hi, are you Joe? Or all of a sudden I'd be at a Denny's, and I'd hear somebody behind me. I was eating, and I'd hear, "Or."
Hey man, check it out.
And I'll turn around, and they're some dude would be like, "I told you, man. I told you it was him. It's fucking Joe." And then it's all hell breaks loose. But it's cool. It's because it's dudes. It's it's all cool stuff. And the attention's great. But it was a while, man. Because the movie got shelved, from what I understand. It's just like it just didn't get distribution. It didn't get put in the theaters, and then it was like a couple years, maybe 2-3 years, and I was like, that was that. And then just it started to creep in through different avenues, different ways, and then next thing I know, everywhere I went, you know, especially at the time when my hair was still long, they're like, that's, you know, that's when it hit. And then as time went on, as the years progressed, you know, you start to get to, you know, people ask you questions, this happens, and then, you know, Facebook, you know, then the internet hits, and you know, and then it dawned on me that, oh my God, this thing is like, it's out there. Like, this is like a, it was one of the films that I like, you know, I'm a cult film guy. Like, I love cult films, or the films that became cult films, like, you know, Cheech and Chong's next movie, like Blazing Saddles, like, you know, just, you know, Repo Man, like, I'll go down the list, you know. Even though this super sci-fi's big budgets like Blade Runner and Alien, like just that kind of, I love those movies. So to realize like, oh my God, this movie's kind of in there now, you know, with like Pineapple Express and Dazed and Confused and Friday and like all these, like, oh my God, we're in there. Like, yeah, it's that couch scene with China and I, where we're sitting there and we're just kind of, you know, we're finally like talking, and it looks like we're going to make out, you know, even though we don't, and they're playing the Pussy song or whatever, and I just threw up or something, I think it was, and I'm just like chilling, like, you know, and then we just have this conversation about school, and it's kind of like, you know, it's just kind of, we're getting along, and the chemistry starting to form. There was this moment where they realized that she needs to get up from the couch, because Hubs, you know, from what I remember, he was like, hey dude, get up here, you know, it's like, and we couldn't figure out how to, like, we had that moment as actors, like, how you got to get off the couch, because you can't be here when he comes out, and I remember saying, well, I didn't think she'd do it. I said, just say you got to take a shit or something like that, you know, just because, like, we make her even a cooler girl. And so I didn't think she'd do it. I thought maybe she'd just kind of get up and say, I got to go to the bathroom or something like that. But fucking China, we're sitting there, and I got to tell you, man, it took every ounce of restraint in my body to not lose it. Because I think that was also one of the shots where, you know, speaking of the low budget, it was like, you guys got to get this in one shot. Like, we have to get it in one shot. And I'm like, okay. You know, to me, I'm like, you know, I was at theater school, you know, I was a theater actor, so I'm just like, you get another shot, really? Like, you get two? So anyways, so I'm sitting there and just did not think she was gonna say that, and then she's like, you know, we're all quiet. She goes, gotta take a dump.
I gotta take a dump.
I almost, I don't know how I was waiting and waiting and waiting for the director to say cut, because it was like I was dying, man. I was dying inside, and I think I ate half of my mouth just trying to not laugh, and finally I heard the director go cut, and I just lost it, and I was like, you motherfucker, like.
I gotta take a dump.
Yeah, I just recently over the last few months watched it, and I honestly I found myself laughing a lot. Because now it's like it's almost like I'm looking at a photo album of me growing up, in a way. Even though I was a different guy, technically, there's some similarities between who I was then and Joe. But like, it's almost like looking back on it and going, and just like just laughing, remembering filming it, and remembering, you know, that stupid shit I would do growing up, and be like, oh my God, they really captured that. When we were by the pool, there was that whole thing with the where I go crazy and I start throwing all the lawn furniture in the pool. It was another thing of like, wait a minute. I remember like Jim pulled me over and he goes, hey man, do you have any ideas? Because like Hubs has got to get out of the pool, you know, in a way. And there's like, because this guy comes out and we got to run away and stuff like that. And he's in the pool with Laney, like, why would you get out of the pool? Like that meant, like, why would anyone get out of the pool if you're, you know what I mean? So I had this idea of like, well, what if I don't know, because it was this thing that I used to do with my friend David, which was like this like just goofy thing that we would like act like cavemen and monkeys and freak out and like go crazy. And I said, well, we can try this thing. I it's like not in a script. And I go, what if I do this weird tribal like thing, like inside joke, because we have this handshake thing that we do, and like it's like he can't resist. It's like we're buddies, man. He's got to get out of the pool. We got to have this moment together. Like even though he's with this hot chick in the pool, it's just to get him out. And like Jim said, okay, like try it. Like let's see if I believe it, you know. And that's where that came from. That was just kind of like almost like an improv, just like I got to get Hubs out of the pool, and he's got to get with me. We got to reunite and do something crazy. It's like because we're bros. What's gonna get, you know? And so that's yeah. And then it stuck, and then they kept it in the pool. I mean, they kept it in the kept it in the movie, and it's really seemed that like I think the majority of like what they set out to shoot is in there. Like, you know, there's one scene when we start the journey that's not in the movie, and it shows us painting the car, where we're like just kind of like I'm like drawing, you know, so it really looks like this is our vehicle. This is like we're really customizing our, like, you know, our magic bus here. That didn't make it, but it's, you know, it drove. That thing drove. I regret not buying it. If I made my money on the movie, I might have. They offered it was like for sale at the end of the film that we could have, one of us could have bought it for like $500, and it ran. That thing, like we could drive it around, you know, but for a lot of the, you know, other shots where we're talking, they put it on this thing called a shot maker, which is like kind of a rig that they tow the car. But then there were some scenes where we actually really were driving.
Check it out, man.
Excuse me, guys. Can you tell me where the Frankie Avalon house is?
That dude is like that was amazing. I never seen that many at now I'm like their age, but that many like middle-aged women freaking out. Like it was like, he's funny. He's a funny dude. I was blown away that he did it too. I was just like, oh my God, he's gonna do this? Because originally it was supposed to be the William Shatner house. And then like they're both funny. I like Frankie Avalon. This is funnier, I think. But yeah, he was cool. He was like super down, like signing autographs and stuff, and he was hilarious. But yeah, it was a big day when he showed up. There was like, you know, he had his like I think word got out, and there was like all these like people trying to get his autograph and stuff, and it was kind of neat. Oh, you need that. The old man makeup. I look like a freaking like Einstein raisin. Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, I really did. I felt like a shriveled Einstein raisin. But you know, I guess that's all in the, especially when I saw it, I'm like, oof. Yeah, I mean, also I wasn't going to be like, there's no way I'm going on like this. Like, like the first couple days of shooting were really nerve-wracking for me because there was, I think from what I remember, there was like the producers or guys, whatever, were not sure because we weren't shooting a lot of the really funny stuff first because we shoot out of order, and there was like a feeling or whatever that they might not keep me as Joe. So there was like so I remember we did this one moment where to kind of show that like, or whatever, I had to like kind of clown it up in a sense because I really wanted to play Joe the way it's in the movie. I wanted to play like a real, you know, like this is just this guy who's this age with these circumstances going through this situation, and not be like this, like the atypical, like, yeah, man, kind of like oblivious, dumb stoner. I wanted to seem relatable and real, and they like let me do that, and then, which was fantastic. But I think the producers were worried that the funny stuff wasn't going to be funny, or I couldn't clown it up enough, or whatever it was. So there was some tension the first couple of days for me, where I was like, I might not get to do this. I might get fired for a part that I auditioned for like several times, but they didn't. I'm really happy they let me play the part. Like me as a performer, I wanted to, or an actor, just wanting to get, weird, but I knew that it's not going to work. There has to, like, the reality of the film, I have to like, it's not going to be believable. I have to be that reality of, like, the eyes and ears of what's happening as you're going through the film as a viewer. I remember watching it when it like, not premiered, but it was a premiere. Like, the studio heads and everybody, they brought in an audience to watch it, and I freaked out because, like, I was sitting there watching the movie, and the audience was like laughing every 3 seconds. Like, and I sat there and, like, I was like, oh my God, this movie is gonna, like I was like shaking. I was like, this is gonna be amazing, just watching it with an audience. And then I, like, but it's also really weird to watch yourself, no matter how many times you do it. Like, I'm okay with it, but it's just weird, It's just, no matter how you, even Skyping, I could see me over here. It's just like it's distracting. It didn't, I was like, man, when this gets released, this is going to be really great. But it just didn't get released. Like, I don't know the full story behind why. Accurately, I heard things, but I don't know. But all I know is that it did not get released, and it just got a video release. There was something about, like, some rumor of what about, like, Leprechaun 2 or something like that. There was like both cult films now, but, like, so like it has something to do with that was going to get released, or Stöned Age was going to get released, but I don't know the accurate history on that. I kept my boots. I kept that jacket. Yeah, I still got the jacket, and I still got the pot leaf necklace. I think I might have had one or two of them, but, like, just through moving and life and transitions, and I think I might have, like, one exploded in a box or something like that. I think I might still have an Ox 45 shirt, though.
Hey, man, these ain't talls.
No shit. What the fuck, damn Hanky? Get us some tall. All right.
He doesn't get out much, does he?
No shit.
Okay, like, I don't spend a tremendous amount of time or that much time on Facebook, but every once in a while I can't help it. It's kind of fun. I was looking at the conversations, and, like, that seems to be a theme when people get into the Stöned Age conversation about, like, the sequel. But I've never heard of it being taken seriously by either Rich or Jim, the creators of it. But from what I can see, there's an audience for it. I couldn't imagine. I mean, it would be just like, how could that not be fun? Like, how could that not be? I mean, it could be. I couldn't imagine, like, upon script approval or whatever. But, like, that'd be fun. I mean, I would do it. I would totally do it.
For the full extended interview with Michael Kopelow, be sure to tune in to Lost in the Staunch on BitX Internet Radio, Friday, April 26th, or subscribe to Staunch TV for the upload soon after that. We chat not only about the Stöned Age, but also a few other of his films. And we got some really cool stories about those. Do not miss that.
She pulled off my shirt, and I watched it get wet. When she added the softener, I broke into a sweat.